All right, everybody. Welcome to today's Team Kentucky update. Today, we have a lot of thrilling news. Over $800 million of new investment to announce, along with some openings, investments that have been operationalized. Our economy continues to be on fire, and we expect tomorrow to see another $400+ million investment that we will be announcing. We could not do this without some amazing companies and some amazing corporate leaders who are willing to invest in us. We are absolutely on a roll, and we want to keep it going. Everybody you're going to hear from today are great parts of Team Kentucky. First, this morning, I had an opportunity to join leaders in Stanford to celebrate the grand opening of Pittman Creek Wholesale's new headquarters. This is a $15 million investment that's creating 60 full-time jobs, pushing their total employment to 160. Pittman Creek is a fishing tackle distributor that's operated out of nearby Boyle County in recent years and will maintain a presence. After nearly a year of construction, the 205,000 square foot facility came online a month ago and is distributing products to over 5,000 stores in the U.S. and in 10 other countries. Pittman Creek's operated in Kentucky since 1978, that is 42 years, and adds to our incredible distribution and logistics sector, which employs more than 86,000 residents through 600 facilities. It was great to take part. That was just this morning, and I want to thank James Coffey, who is the owner of that company, for continuing to invest in Kentucky. This next one is pretty special. We're going to have actually 3 announcements that are new for today. I want to highlight 3 new jobs announcements that will have significant impact on 2 communities and the state overall. As one of the state's largest manufacturers, GE Appliances is a name we are all familiar with. In the years ahead, the company plans to build that presence even further, proving that American manufacturing is back and it's being led right here in the Commonwealth by a great company. Now, I got to be at GE Appliances not too long ago when they did something that people said was impossible. They brought a refrigerator line to America, knowing that we could compete. So today, we're out announcing another investment by GE Appliances, investing $450 million to create, get this, more than 1,000 new full-time jobs before the end of 2023. The investment will contribute to upgrades across the company's operations at Appliance Park in Louisville. And how great will it be to see that many people back at Appliance Park? It's going to add to the more than 7,000 current employees. We've been celebrating Manufacturing Month throughout October, and the significant growth of our state's largest manufacturers really emphasizes what the sector means to us. GE Appliances is a company with incredible growth plans, and they're willing to trust us to help make that into a reality. In just the past 5 years, this is incredible. This company has invested more than $1.3 billion in U.S. operations with more than 3,000 jobs announced. Even better, more than half those new jobs are in Kentucky. Today, I'm joined by Kevin Nolan, President and CEO of GE Appliances, Earl Jones, Senior Counsel, Antonio Bodas, Vice President of Communications, and Keith Carpenter, Senior Security Manager at the company. I'd like to thank all of y'all for your belief in Team Kentucky and for all of the families that are going to be impacted so positively. We like big numbers, but what they mean is more Kentucky families can put food on the table and provide more opportunities for their kids. Kevin, if you'd like to say a few words about this important project, we are absolutely thrilled to have you here.
Thank you so much, Governor. So GE Appliances has been in Kentucky for over 50 years, and we've had a long history. That's where our headquarters are, and is a state we know and we know well. But the future we see today is brighter than we've ever felt before in the history of this company. It's a future that we want to thank Governor Beshear, the economic development, for giving us the confidence to do what you just heard, to invest in American manufacturing, American manufacturing's back. It is back in a big way, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. But these investments take a long-term view. They take a long-term commitment, a commitment to where you are, how you're investing. And we're able to do that in Kentucky. We're able to do that because of the leadership of the state. And we're able to do that because of the people here. We're so proud of what we're being able to do, but it takes everyone. It takes the confidence to invest, the confidence to hire. So $450 million is our investment. But what excites me more is what that means for the state. That 450, it's exponential when you look at suppliers, when you look at all the other things that come with that. If you look at the workforce development it's going to take to get people ready for those jobs, how we're going to work with schools, STEM. You know, these are technical jobs. The jobs are getting much more technical. So these are not 1,000 of the old manufacturing jobs people might have thought in the past. These are exciting careers, and these are really what the future is going to be built on. Kentucky is winning. We're winning in a big way. And we are just so proud to be part of that. We're excited where the future is. And we're excited to have a lot of folks come out and join our family working at GE Appliances. So thank you, Governor.
Thank you. That got me even more fired up. Kevin and his team are great leaders, committed to the community and to the state. We got a chance to talk about some things in the future. Really excited about not only where they're going, but how they want to do it. So thank you. Next up is a project that manages to stand out even at a time when we've broken year-over-year records in most categories. I'm proud today to announce the largest new location investment on record in Warren County, meaning this is the largest new project in Warren County's history. Tyson Foods is locating its production facility in Bowling Green that includes a $355 million investment. Is going to create 450 full-time jobs at an average hourly wage of $28, including benefits. This is something that Warren County has been looking forward to for a long time, a type of company and industry that they have wanted in their industrial park. And this is one that I know the community is incredibly excited about. You just think, I mean, the Lieutenant Governor will talk about the biggest investment ever in Todd County, where I was yesterday. This is the biggest investment in Warren County. We've announced the biggest investment in the state. We've just announced 1,000 new jobs in the Louisville area. It is thrilling. But Tyson has a strong footprint in our state, just like GE Appliances. It already employs over 3,900 people throughout the Commonwealth. They're going to build a 400,000 square foot facility. I don't want to short them. 400,000 square foot facility that'll take their partnership with us to the next level. The operation will produce Jimmy Dean and white brand bacon and is expected to open by late 2023. So not only will it be a great jobs producer, it's also delicious. Our state's food, beverage, and agri-tech sector has seen rapid growth in such a short time. Since the start of 2020, the industry has seen more than $1.4 billion in new investment across projects, creating well over 2,000 jobs. Commonwealth is home to more than 350 facilities within the sector, and it employs over 52,000 Kentuckians. Food, beverage, and agri-tech are vital to our growing economy, and Tyson Foods plays a very important role in that growth. So congratulations to Bowling Green. You know, we talk about where we are right now and people picking us. You know, in Kentucky, sometimes we felt like people have maybe looked down on us, like we weren't the first kids picked for kickball or others. Everybody right now is picking us. Ford bet the future of their company on us. Tyson, doing the biggest project ever in Warren County, picked us, picked Warren County. So congratulations to everybody on this. All right, next we have RG Financial Group, which provides a range of financial and business services for both companies and individuals. The company is expanding its headquarters in Louisville, which I believe it expanded not that many years ago already once, and they create high-wage job opportunities for our workforce. They're going to create 245 full-time jobs, get this, at an average hourly wage of $46.80, including benefits, with a $2.7 million investment. Company's been headquarters in Louisville since it was established in 1995, and the expansion will ensure it continues to grow in Kentucky well into the future. They currently employ over 200 folks, with additional offices in Bardstown, Bowling Green, E-Town, and Paducah. The project's expected to be completed by 2023, and I'm excited for work to get underway to see how Kentucky can benefit even more from this great company's growth, and they've been growing fast. So I'd now like to welcome CEO Joe Reeves to share a few comments with us about his amazing company, this amazing opportunity. Joe, we're fired up to have you. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you to the Economic Development Cabinet. We have been in the state for since our inception. It was fun to see Tyson and Bowling Green. I grew up in Bowling Green, so I'm a Kentuckian for my whole life. It's also exciting to see GE. It's been a long history with us, and what they have done in the city of Louisville has been unbelievable. And so, Kevin, to your team, congrats. It's very exciting. Argue was created 25 years ago with one mission, and that was to improve the lives of everyone who affiliated with us. And to this day, we focus on our clients, our employees, and our community. I believe that growth is a byproduct of doing the right thing. We commit to our clients, we help them to build better lives, and we grow from it. And that's very exciting because for me, it's as much about creating 245 new jobs, because that means there's 245 families that are going to be able to live out their dream. As the CEO, I think when I first started in this role, it was me focusing on our clients. But the beauty of that is we've grown to a size where we have a lot of great people focusing on the clients. And I believe my job is to focus on our employees, make their lives better, make their families better. And by continuing to expand, we've grown about 22% a year for the last 10 years. The thing I'm excited about is that's not going to stop. As our state grows, as more industry, more corporations come, this is the place to be. And in our business, delivering financial services, tax, estate, we can now help those people from your companies live out their dreams, live out and be fulfilled. So I just want to thank the state for the commitment to us, and I want to thank all the other companies have chosen Kentucky in this area to build on. So thank you, Governor. And
again, thanks to Joe, to a great company. I remember touring the old office. So excited to see you grow. Next, I'm going to turn it over to the Lieutenant Governor for even more on the economic development front.
Thank you, Governor. As the governor has said, we do have an economy that continues to be on fire in many different ways and in many parts of the state, which is, I think, the best news. Yesterday, we added 2 more companies to the list that are choosing to invest in Team Kentucky, and the first is Novelis. The governor was just in Todd County yesterday to celebrate the grand opening of their new $300 million plus aluminum finishing operation. This new 400,000 square foot facility in Guthrie sits on a 150-acre site, and it will treat and preheat rolled aluminum coils used to manufacture automotive body parts. This plant employs over 100 Kentuckians. Novelis has had a presence in Kentucky for decades, and they are headquartered in Atlanta. They serve as a global recycler and producer of aluminum, operating 33 advanced rolling and recycling facilities in 9 countries across North and South America, Europe, and Asia. Next up, last week, the governor was in Louisville to celebrate the groundbreaking of a new distribution center and sales office for Republic National Distributing Company. Republic is a distributor of premium wine and spirits, and this $50 million investment is a relocation and expansion project. It includes construction of a nearly 289,000 square foot warehouse and more than 38,000 square feet of office space on Blankenbaker Parkway. It will create 30 full-time jobs, and Republic is a significant contributor to Kentucky's thriving bourbon industry. They represent established brands including Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Michter's, Old Forester, and Woodford Reserve, in addition to the new Kentucky craft bourbons like Bardstown Bourbon, Castle and Key, New Riff, and Peerless Bourbon. These companies and the many others we have highlighted recently know that Kentucky is special, and they know that it is because of our people. Excuse me. So now I want to provide a brief update on broadband and bringing high-speed, reliable internet service to all Kentuckians. First and foremost, the governor and I both believe that high-speed, affordable internet access is a fundamental right for every Kentuckian, regardless of your zip code. It's been a game changer in every aspect of our life, and this is a lesson that many of us learned the hard way during the pandemic. Over the last 18 months, that need grew with more families that had to rely on internet services to keep themselves safe through telework, telehealth, and online learning. It's just as important today that we commit to delivering broadband in the 21st century as it was when we committed to delivering electricity in the 20th century. And as a rural Kentuckian, this is personal to me. I grew up in one of the smallest towns in Kentucky, and I taught school for several years. And so I know that the child that takes a Chromebook home but can't connect to the internet is going to fall behind his or her classmates. I know that the mom and dad that are more productive and efficient and effective if they can work from home but can't because they lack reliable broadband risk falling behind. And I know that every community across Kentucky, if they are not able to offer connectivity to businesses, will fall behind in economic development. And so that's what we mean when we say it matters that we create this opportunity in every zip code across Kentucky. So in April, Governor Beshear signed into law a bipartisan agreement to allocate $300 million in federal American Rescue Plan dollars dedicated to bringing internet access to our unserved and underserved communities across the Commonwealth. Combined with matching federal grants, this means that we are going to be able to invest $600 million in making sure that this reaches every Kentuckian. And it's also going to create 10,000 new jobs in Kentucky. So the process in August, the Finance Administration Cabinet issued a request for proposal for the first $50 million of those federal dollars committed to providing internet access to those who need it most. The funding is targeted to those areas in Kentucky that are unserved, those who have no internet access, or whose internet access is so slow that it is nearly unstable. Through this competitive RFP process, proposals were accepted until the afternoon of Tuesday, October 26th, so just a couple days ago. And I'm happy to announce that within that time frame, we received almost 100 proposals. So now what's going to happen is an evaluation team made up of our hardworking state employees will begin the process of reviewing all of these proposals to ensure that they meet the criteria to be considered for an award. And it will put us one step closer to bringing internet access to those who remain without it. Additionally, we announced yesterday that Kentucky was awarded a $1 million federal grant to help with our broadband efforts. This competitive grant was open to all U.S. states and territories, and so we're honored to be able to receive $1 million in this grant. The money that's coming to us in this grant will be used to plan and operationalize that $300 million investment that I just mentioned to revolutionize our state's connectivity. And so there's a final update on this subject. Included in the April bipartisan agreement signed by Governor Beshear was a blessing to our electric co-ops to join this initiative to get high-speed internet to every Kentuckian. And I was in Knox County earlier this week to announce that Cumberland Valley Electric Co-op is the first to go public with these plans. Our co-ops are ingrained in our communities, and they are our natural partners when it comes to delivering broadband internet access to all of the areas they serve. So now more than ever, reliable, high-speed internet access can no longer be considered a luxury, only available to those who can afford it or who live in the most populous areas. As a nation, I believe that we have come to a shared realization during COVID of just how critical reliable internet access is for all of us to stay informed, safe, and connected to our work, school, family, church, and friends. So this has been a long time coming, and I'm really excited about the progress that we are making to finally bring broadband access to all Kentuckians, because this is such a high priority of Governor Beshear and mine in this administration. So lots of good news to share today, and I'm going to turn it right back over to Governor Beshear.
I think the conversation on broadband shows us how critical that infrastructure is for our future. Broadband is infrastructure, like roads and like bridges. And investments in our crumbling infrastructure in many parts of our country and in some parts of our state is absolutely necessary if we want to turn these months of progress into years of progress. That's why I believe that the bipartisan infrastructure bill needs to pass and needs to go ahead and pass quickly. The bill is bipartisan, with 19 Republicans, including Senator Mitch McConnell, having voted for it. The action is absolutely clear. For us, it helps us with our roads and our bridges. Our state recently received a C- on our infrastructure report card, and this will help us to make sure we improve that grade as quickly as possible. We got 1,033 bridges here in Kentucky and haven't been able to invest the dollars to keep them in the shape that they need to be. And when it's in disrepair, it means commute times increase, which means that we pay more in gas. Under the infrastructure bill, Kentucky would receive more than $4.7 billion over 5 years to replace roads and bridges. That creates jobs. More importantly, it keeps our families safe. This infrastructure bill would allow us to apply for significant funds for the Brent Spence Bridge. And if we were able to get the funding that I think we can, I believe we could do that project without any tolls on the Northern Kentucky or Cincinnati community. In drinking water, we're already seeing how critical, when we make these announcements, we have people show up that have never had water directly to their home. We have projects that we're able to announce afterwards because they can rely that there will be the level of water and sewer that they need. So in the infrastructure bill, we get $647 million additionally to apply to water and sewer projects across Kentucky. Additionally, $100 million in broadband to add on top of what we're already doing in ARPA. $391 million in public transportation. $204 million to improve our airports over 5 years. Let me tell you, I've now landed in just about every airport we have in Kentucky. But you know what's next to Arlo King Air and most of those? A jet that a CEO has flown in on from some part of America to look at a place to invest or to visit a facility from one of their companies. They provide gateways to our communities that reduce any barriers or impediments to everybody being able to get as quickly as they can to us. And it's important we continue to invest. Kentucky would also receive $69 million for electric vehicle infrastructure. Listen, we're committed to that being the future. We committed that when we committed to Ford. And finally, we'd receive $19 million to protect against wildfires, $18 million to protect against cyber attacks, and ultimately $3.5 billion nationally in weatherization, which we'd get, I believe, a big part of. It's time for this thing to pass. You know, I, from the outside, watched government during the Great Recession. And I believe when we look back, the mistake that our nation made was not that it was, well, not that it failed to put money into the economy, because it did, but it didn't put money into the economy in ways that had benefits years and decades after. Every dollar that we spend on infrastructure right now helps create new jobs, help keeps our families safer, and it reduces costs in the future. It means we roar out of COVID. It means our economy continues to be on fire. And at the same time, our people are safe and our future costs are reduced. It's the right thing to do. I urge everybody in our delegation to vote for this bill and to get it done. All right, let's flip to COVID. With one exception today, all good news. Mainly just going to show the graphs because we're in the middle of a week, so that information is incomplete. What's important on all these line graphs, this is Kentuckians hospitalized, is that it continues to decrease and that it continues to have a significant slope in how it decreases. We are still seeing that. I will admit, I look at this every day. Really, it takes about 3 days to ensure that downward trend is continuing. There's a chance that, in 2 to 3 weeks, we could be at a really good place. And we got to be humble, though, because the Delta variant, its aggressiveness was something that was never foreseen or forecasted. So let's continue to do the work necessary to get in a safer place. ICUs, the same, continue downward projection. Now, what you'll see here is there can be small ticks up and down. That's primarily how the reporting comes in. But what we want to see is that overall continued decline. And in many ways, the ventilator line graph, it gives us the best example. It's almost a smooth decline day in and day out. We have our ticks typically on that on Tuesday because we get reports over the weekend, and then on Tuesday maybe we get the more accurate reports from what we have seen. So we are trending in the right direction. Cases are trending down. People in the ICU, in the hospital, on ventilators are all trending down, and our positivity rate continues to drop. That is the leading indicator. That's a good thing. We see other reliable metrics decreasing that tell us the same thing. Less people seeking the medication or treatment for it. The infusions and the demand are down. All good things. That's the monoclonal antibodies. Less demand out there for it. Now, if we want to keep this going, right? If we want to keep the decline, if we want to get back to the point in the summer where we all felt great, where we were at a place where we actually didn't have any where we were at a very safe place. I believe that boosters are now the most critical thing aside from getting more people vaccinated. But there is a difference, right? The population that's left that is unvaccinated is harder to reach or harder to convince. But everybody out there that has gotten their vaccines, you got it because you wanted protection. And we need you to get the booster when it's time and when you qualify to keep that protection. The reason that we could do away with masks in the summer was that the level of immunity that we all had against the Alpha variant was so high that it was reducing people getting it and people spreading it. And we believe with the booster, we can get there again with the Delta variant. So I've gone over this. I'm going to go over this each time. Where are we in boosters? Let's start with J&J. So if you got the Johnson & Johnson, it's also called the Janssen vaccine, if it's been 2 months, go get your booster. Doesn't matter how old you are. This one has provided the least protection out of the 3, and you need that booster. You can actually get a booster of any of the other vaccines too. Actually just talked to someone the other day who has a friend that got J&J and is going through a really bad bout of COVID, a bad breakthrough case. If you got J&J and it's been 2 months, go out and get that booster immediately. Let's go to Pfizer and Moderna. This one is a little more complicated. I don't think it'll be for too long. I think pretty soon we're going to go to the everybody get a booster. If you're 65 and older, you absolutely need to go get a booster of J&J or Moderna. 65 and older are where breakthrough cases have turned deadly, but we believe we can get back to the point where we weren't seeing those breakthrough cases at all, or at least they were much more rare. Okay, if you are under 65, it's really a couple of different reasons you'd get it. If you were in a congregate setting, like a long-term setting, but you might be under 65, go get it. If you have underlying health conditions, and if you got any underlying health condition that makes you worried, go get the booster shot. Or if your job, and we have journalists today, have you around a whole lot of people, like journalists, like those that work in our transportation cabinet, like so many, like our bus drivers, go get the booster. It'll keep your immunity further up, and it will help us defeat COVID once and for all. So as we go forward, we talked about 3 or 4 things that we want to do. Number 1, get new people vaccinated. Number 2, get everybody boosted. Number 3, to get children vaccinated. And that is our next part. We believe that it's going to be days or a week, maybe, probably the beginning of next week or the middle, that the Pfizer vaccine is going to be approved for children 5 to 11. The data looks very good. Some of the best data that's come out of any of the groups. The FDA advisory panel, the one that really talked a lot and even disagreed with the president on boosters, they take their job seriously, voted unanimously for the 5 to 11 vaccine. It is less of a dose than the adult vaccine. And there should be no reason that a child that age would end up getting the adult dose, because they're going to package it and they're going to ship it and they're going to provide it differently. It is going to be in the orange top as opposed to the purple top. And it even comes with its own equipment. I think they're even going to have smaller needles with this, which my 11-year-old will greatly appreciate. So it's coming. It's coming soon. And I will tell you that we will take Lila in as soon as it's available. I believe in early or mid-November, we're going to have another vaccine clinic here in the Capitol, open to employees and others to get your first dose, to get your second dose, to get your booster. We welcome anybody who is here regularly in the Capitol to come in if you need it. All right, final piece on vaccines is we do have enough information now to make the adjustment, which is going to be made in the federal system tonight, but won't be visible until tomorrow. So the CDC has confirmed in their system, this is the federal system, this didn't happen in the state system, that some of the COVID-19 vaccine data for Kentucky has been counted twice in the numbers that we see. This occurred because data from one pharmacy chain, which is Kroger, was reported to the federal Tiberius database, both through the Kentucky Immunization Registry and directly to the CDC. They were submitting it in 2 ways and expecting that there would be a deduplication algorithm ultimately in the federal database to catch it. This was not intentional by anyone. And Kroger has been a great partner with us in testing and in vaccinations, and we do not blame anyone for this. But we've confirmed that the duplicate reporting occurred only with that company, and we are committed this whole time to getting it right. Now, what it does to our numbers hurts a little bit. But if we're going to get everybody vaccinated and protect everybody, we really have to have the most accurate count of who is and who isn't. So the number I'm going to read is total doses, not first doses. I'll get to that. Remember, we report first doses. Total estimate, 431,100 total vaccine doses will be removed from the federal database. Now we estimate that 252,500 of them are the first doses. So that will be the hit to the reports that we put out. It'll lower our unique Kentuckians vaccinated, how many Kentuckians we believe have been vaccinated, from 2.78 million to 2.53 million. So therefore, the percentage of Kentuckians vaccinated with at least one dose is going to decrease to about 56 or 57%, we believe, tomorrow when the federal government publishes that data. Each age group is going to be adjusted downwardly too. And so we'll start presenting that data again, but with the adjustment. It's going to be approximately 5% to 7.5% for each age group. Now, there are going to be some counties that had larger clinics with Kroger that could be adjusted downward as much as 20%. We think Franklin County will probably be hit the hardest. Now, that does explain why we had some really severe sickness and spread here in Fayette County. But again, let me say, the folks that have worked to vaccinate people in this county and every other county have done their absolute best. And even with this, I'm really proud of their work and of our work. Again, the duplications occurred just from that one group, and we believe that this has happened in at least 3 states that will likely be reporting it. But this national database is something that we had to create during COVID. In many ways, in our response to this, because it's a pandemic of a virus that had never existed, we had to build the airplane while we were flying it. We had to create the testing because the test didn't even exist, and then we had to make it nationwide, and we did. I'm not sure we'd ever seen anything like that. We got a vaccine in record time, and we had to vaccinate people and create a network all over the United States, and we did, to the point where, except maybe in schools, we won't have to have new networks for kids or for boosters. It is already available in so many ways. And this database tracking hundreds of millions of doses is the same. It had to be built, never existing in this form before. And so I believe that in the future, while I hope it's not Kentucky, there will be other revisions that we will see in other states. It may take a few days for them to get in, but I think we could see the adjustments as soon as tomorrow. Again, that's just the Tiberius database. We have separate databases in Kentucky for immunization registry and others, and that will remain constant. We do believe, though, that as they look through this, we may have some vaccinated Kentuckians that haven't been included. And that could be a 10 to 20,000 increase compared to the overall change. Finally, hospitals, definitely in better shape. Hospitalizations decreasing 23% over the last 7 days. 57 hospitals suffering from critical staffing shortages. 8 kids hospitalized due to COVID, 4 in the ICU, 2 on ventilators. All right, so that's a lot today. And by the way, we do expect to have a big economic development announcement tomorrow. Over $400 million additionally being invested. That'll take our number this week to over $1 billion. I think we'll be 1.2. And I believe tomorrow we will hit the $10 billion mark in investments in Kentucky this year, just blowing away any previous record. So that is good news. All right, we will move to questions. We have 3 journalists that are here with us today and about 6, 7 on the phone. So we'll start with Carolina, if you're ready.
So these vaccination numbers, now that they're actually a little bit lower than what we were hoping, Kentucky's in a little bit worse shape than we had anticipated. Your thoughts on that? And then also, there has been a lot of hesitancy that parents are expressing already, even though the vaccine's not available for their children. Mm-hmm. And some studies show that parents may not be willing to vaccinate their kids. What message do you have for parents in these situations?
Well, the vaccine and vaccine effectiveness for kids hasn't been communicated fully to parents yet. And that's partially by design because the advisors had to look at it. And I don't think that the scientific community wanted to pressure them, wanted them to make the best decision that they can. But as we've watched this process, when they go through it, when the advisors say yes, and they're unanimous on it, and when it goes through the other pieces of the approval process, it's meant to build confidence. I could tell people a lot of different things, but I will tell them that I love my kids more than anything. A lot more than this job. And I would never do something to harm my kids, not one bit. And I would never expose them to anything that I believe would harm them. And I will take my daughter the first day I can to get this vaccine. I believe for her, it is the way that her school gets back to normal. For her, I think that's the way that we don't have to worry about eating in a restaurant or different events that we want to do. I so want her world to be a post-pandemic world and not a continuing pandemic world. And I think her getting the vaccine helps her get there and helps all of us get there. But I'd also say talk to your pediatrician. Man, as parents, we can't live without our pediatricians, especially when our kids are really young, but even now, different things they're going through. There's such a lifeline. You know, you're panicking and you call them, and by the time the pediatrician's done talking to you, you feel better. Pediatricians have been having conversations about vaccines forever. I remember when our kids were born, I think Jenny McCarthy had just come out with her book that suggested some tie to autism that was not true. And we were having that conversation then. And I can certainly say, as a parent, those pediatricians put my mind at ease, and they're who we've relied on. Joe Ragusa.
I have a couple of questions about unemployment and related to unemployment in relation to the unemployment task force meeting that happened this morning. There's a lot of discussion about the timeline for overhauling the system and the bidding process that just recently closed on that. You know, might take 18, 24 months to fully implement a new system. My first question is, are you happy with the progress that's been made on unemployment since we've had all these issues with the pandemic and the 18 to 24 month timeline? Is that something you're comfortable with? But also the other topic too, I tried to get a hold of the cabinet secretary after the meeting and was told that they are not available for an interview for whatever reason. And I know a lot of journalists have had issues getting a hold of cabinet secretaries or people in these cabinets at various other points too. Do you feel, or how do you respond to the criticism that, there's a lack of transparency here with these individual cabinets?
Well, Joe, how I'd first respond to that is you're here asking the governor of the Commonwealth of Kentucky any question that you want to, without any pre-screening, without anyone suggesting we have to stay on one topic like some of our federal participants do. I think since becoming governor, I think I've had over 800 press conferences. In the beginning, I answered every question until we all got so tired we went home. There have been times I've been willing to say I don't know when I have. We followed up and provided technical information. I think at this point, I've done more hours of press conferences and more questions than the first 62 governors of Kentucky put together. and that there's some people who might wish I had done less than that. We provide people for interviews regularly, but not always. But again, everybody in their employment has an approval process for getting to do different things. You all have to get your stories approved. We have folks through our executive branch of government that have to get approvals as well. But I will also say that this is an administration that speaks in one voice. And when there is a challenge that is out there, when something has happened, it's never employee X at X cabinet. It's always Beshear official. And that's okay. I'm willing to take responsibility for what goes on out there, but I'm also going to step forward and answer the hard questions, whether it's on UI or others. So after the last administration suggesting this administration isn't transparent, maybe forgetting the past as opposed to looking at the present. No, I'm not satisfied with the speed of fixing UI. I'm not sure that we could do it faster, but I'm not satisfied with it. And that's because people are still hurting. There are good reasons for how long it takes, but it still takes too long. Part of that is the system now that we've got to put in has never existed before. No state has ever had to have a system that can withstand the cyber attacks that we now have to. No state had a system that could handle the volume that came in. And even if it takes longer, we got to get it right. Because if we don't get it right this time, shame on us. I think we got to do a number of things in addition to that system. The moving of the identity proving mechanism to the very beginning is going to help us. That's going to ensure that a lot of these fraudulent claims never get in. Because one of the challenges right now is if a computer system files 100,000 new claims and you have one real person out there, how do we find the needle? in that haystack. This is going to prevent some of that. But we also need more general fund dollars going every year to UI. We haven't gotten that when we've asked, but the office is not staffed enough. And by God, I mean, bless the people who are willing to do that right now with everything we've been through. We've got to make sure they have more help. Tom Latek.
Thank you, Governor. I've got two also. My first one is, what twigged you all that there was a miscount in the vaccinations? Was it more vaccine piling up in storage or what? And then secondly, I've been hearing about the United Nations warning of a syringe shortage. Has there been any fear of that, any signs of that in the U.S. court, especially in Kentucky?
They talked about the syringe issue on the most recent White House call. They said that there is no shortage in the United States. There may be some shortages worldwide that they're concerned about, but that the United States is going to help where they can. The thing that really alerted us that there may be a problem in the numbers was if you went on the federal database and you hovered over different counties, there were some age groups where they were saying 108% of everyone over 65 in X county was fully vaccinated. Once we got the new census data where we actually knew how many people were in that age group and then comparing the data that had been input about who'd been vaccinated, that's what really raised the issue. And then we raised it with the CDC and the federal government. I mean, our goal was to be accurate and transparent. Even with the news we had to report today, we thought that was important. All right, Stu Johnson, WEKU.
Thank you, Governor. As far as the economic announcements today, you've talked about the economy being on fire in Kentucky. Is Kentucky's economy more on fire than other states? And if so, is it because of our corporate tax structure or incentives?
Well, first, heck yeah, our economy is on fire more than just about any other state. Ford looked at 90 plus sites across every single state in the United States, and they chose us. They counted on us. Right now, we are being viewed, I believe, nationally as a place that can make it happen. You know, tax structure, it can be important. Incentives can be important. But in the end, I believe it's the confidence that the heads of those companies have that their project can be done on time and can be successful. You saw Kevin from GE standing up here saying he believes in Kentucky. And that's one of the reasons that he believes that they can succeed. I believe that we instill confidence because of the success that we've shown. And we built a facility in Bowling Green that wanted to be first to market in one of the fastest times that we've ever seen. But I think people are also looking at us differently. I think part of how we came together as a people during COVID is something that they have seen. And I also think that they see stability and the fact that we can come together in a bipartisan way, whether that was Senate Bill 5 or others, to get things done in terms of economic development. But yes, oh no, our gains right now are outstripping other states, I believe, significantly. And not just in dollars and in jobs, though that's outstanding. Look at what type of opportunities we're getting. Jobs of the future, you know, electric battery plants. We know are going to be critical for decades. Agriculture technology, we know is going to be critical for decades. You know, the recycled paper mill, again, green job is going to be necessary for decades. The Novelis recycled aluminum mill, going to be there for decades. By the way, that thing is so huge that we were driving up and I said, I think that's the facility. They said, oh no, we're 5 miles away. No, that was definitely the facility. It was just that big. Karen Czar, WUKY.
Thank you, Governor. One on vaccines and then one on economy. My vaccine question, because of the change in the vaccination numbers, will there be any change to the data for those who've been hospitalized or died who were vaccinated, partially vaccinated, or unvaccinated, or was that information taken directly at the hospitals? And then on the economy, For so many years, we've done stories that businesses were not interested in Kentucky because of our lack of broadband. So all these changes, how much is that playing into the influx of business? And are any potential contracts reliant on that broadband? Thank you.
So I do not believe that there will be a change in total number of Kentuckians hospitalized or in the ICU or in ventilators, those line charts you see. I also don't believe, but I want to check, and I will double check for you, that there will be a change in the percentages of cases vaccinated versus unvaccinated and deaths. That should be coming from different information, but let us double check on that for you. The broadband piece, really important, really important. I was at one major facility 8 months ago, and they were talking about the Kentucky Wire project, the trunk that it creates and the speed that's going to be available to them. Every single one of these facilities is also about data that they are collecting every single day, whether it's Novellus or GE or the rest. They cannot operate without having that high-speed internet that lets them collect information to make them more efficient, and that is almost currency to companies. So when we look at a new site, we got to make sure it has water. We got to make sure it has gas. We got to make sure it has electric. We got to look at the roads, and it's just as important now. It has to have high-speed broadband that is fast enough for where the American economy is right now. Debbie Yetter, Courier-Journal.
Hi, Governor. Presuming the feds approve the dose for kids 5 to 11 next week of the Pfizer vaccine, it looks like they will. What are the plans, as best you know, to distribute it here in Kentucky, and how will it be administered throughout the state?
So it normally takes about a day. They start shipping it, I think, right before they think it'll be approved. Booster shots, that was the regular supply. It still took a day once approved for all of the companies that are now doing these to get their authorizations from their managers. So they're going to be in a number of places. They will be in some pediatricians' offices, but probably not all. Remember, there's still cold storage issues, and now it's a little bit different. If this was at the beginning, I think everybody would be signing up, and you got to go through some paperwork to sign up with the federal government. But already we have approved providers in every pharmacy, in every grocery store, in the local health department, and we have partners that are ready to work with schools and other locations. We now have contracts from the state with entities where we pay by the dose that they put into somebody's arm, not the dose that they get, but the actual vaccine that is provided. So we now have a totally different infrastructure where some doctors' offices are going to opt to say, just go to your pharmacy when you're picking up the prescription for something else that I'm about to give you. We're certainly going to be talking with all of our schools and other childcare options to see what works for them. I think it's really important, and if we want to get to schools without universal masking, to make sure we have a high level of individuals vaccinated. Because while we're going down in cases right now, let's remember kids are our least vaccinated group. They are closest together when they are in school in what are typically the least ventilated buildings. That's exactly where COVID wants to spread. We want our kids to be in school. We want to keep them in school. This is a way to get back to the most normal environment possible. Kristen Kennedy, WKYT. I'll come back to Kristen. Rachel Droz, WHAS 11.
Hi, Governor. My questions are, how long ago did you find out about the vaccination data error? And what are the 3 other states you mentioned that will also likely have data revisions?
The other states I don't have in front of me, and I want to make sure that they can announce it. But it's at least 3 others. I was first alerted that we believe that the ultimate conclusion would be that there is an error. I want to say about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, but they couldn't confirm it, and they couldn't confirm what the number is. So I think it was about 10 days ago, which would have been just a couple days after that I wanted to make sure we started talking about what we would see. I didn't get a confirmed final number until today. And in fact, that number changed a little bit from what we thought it might have been 3 or 4 days ago. The federal system wasn't ready to upgrade either until that point. So that's always my goal. When we see that there's an issue first, I want to be fairly confident that there is one before we'd make people worry about it. And then we want to talk about it, even if we don't have the final answer, as we get those final answers in. Zach Hulk, WYMT.
Thank you, Governor. So can you comment on the homecoming event at the Hazard High School? I'm thinking your first reaction when you saw the photos that emerged on social media from that.
Totally unacceptable, inappropriate, shouldn't happen. And so that means that, you know, in the system, and there is a system here to address it, right? There's principals, and then there's a superintendent, and then there's a Kentucky Department of Education. You know, they need to take appropriate action and ensure that this will never happen again. But there's another thing they need to do, and that's that they need to be talking to these students, that this isn't something that is normalized in their mind, that they think is okay in school. And that doesn't mean that the kids are punished because the adults were letting it go on. But we just want to make sure that we're raising our kids right about what is and is not acceptable, especially in the world that we live in. And I know there's a lot of focus on the adults, and rightfully so. But I hope that the school system does right by the kids as well. This can be for them a learning moment that can be really important about choices they make, about peer pressure on what was going on. But it can't happen. Shouldn't happen. Our public schools are better than this, and I do believe, though, that action is being taken. Now, I will say, I think that what that action is ought to be public, since the issue is so public. And I say that knowing a couple of the folks, and you know, I think that they will learn from it too. All right, do we have Kristen Kennedy?
I think you've got me now, Governor.
Great.
I do want to follow up with you on the subject of unemployment there. I know you inherited a system stretched thin. I know you tried to budget funds for career centers for unemployment offices, that the General Assembly removed most of those funds. But why is it still taking months for Kentuckians to get an answer to their UI questions?
Yeah, it's that we're understaffed. Our system is so old, it's hard to find the claims that are unprocessed and steps that need to be taken. Our system is filled with fraudulent claims that came in by the hundreds and the thousands. So we're searching for the needle in the haystack. But with all that said, and all that's real, because the people are trying and they're moving as fast as they can, it's not enough, and it's not been enough throughout this. What we've learned is how hard it is to repair a system that was allowed to wither in the midst of something like this. If there is good news, it's that unemployment and unemployment filings are plunging in Kentucky. 116 counties had a decreased unemployment rate this month as compared to last month. So we need to get everybody's claims processed, no question. And they deserve to have them done, most of them months and months ago. But we've also got to fix this thing once and for all. And that's the IT system. That's sufficient staffing. That's making sure that we have the right structure and leadership change around it. That in the future we have the ability to augment up when necessary in emergency situations. And that may mean that we've got to cross-train more people. One of the challenges of our system is that the coding is so old that we have to get people out of retirement just to give us basic answers. And that should have never been allowed to happen. But the other thing is it takes so much training to get someone to become an adjudicator, so many months that we've got to make sure that we cross-train some of our other people in the future, because we've seen what happens if something like this hits, and it takes 6+ months to get other people on board and able to do it. So yes, I've been the governor during this. No, I'm not satisfied by our performance. Yes, I understand that some Kentuckians have waited, many Kentuckians have waited far, far too long. My goal, my promise, is that we will continue to work to get to their claims, but I'm going to push. I may need some help from the General Assembly to make sure we have the structure and the security in place to make sure this never happens again, even if we face something as unprecedented as this. Because when we think about how we react to major disasters, we try to work to make sure our buildings can better withstand the wind, the snow, the tornado, the rest. We got to make sure our safety net can too, because this is something that's supposed to be there when Kentuckians need it the most. And it took far too long for so many Kentuckians that needed it the most. So we're going to work every day to make it right, knowing that there's still a lot of work to do, but taking the responsibility to do it. I'm committed, absolutely committed to making sure we don't have to go through a period like this in unemployment ever again. And I know that the leadership there is committed to doing the same. All right. A heck of a day on the economic development front. We're seeing things absolutely incredible. We're breaking our own records that we just set months ago. What it says is our future is bright. Now, our present is still difficult. So keep doing the right things, because we're right at the precipice of realizing a dream that every parent in Kentucky has had, that their kids, my kids, will never have to leave this state because they don't think that every opportunity is available to them. That's what all of us as Kentuckians have wanted, and we are right there. So our time is here, our future is now, and we're going to get it done. Thank you all very much.